First up, let's talk about the raging debate over whether India's population numbers are dwindling. RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat has sparked a discourse over this now by urging couples to have 3+ children and boost fertility rates. Is India dealing with a population crisis? Is there an urgent need to boost fertility rates in the country? Many politicians, some think tanks certainly think so. But we now break down for you India's demographic and how other countries compare. Let's begin with a look at India's population numbers. India has the largest population in the world with 142.86 crore people. This is as of December 2nd, 2024. We've used Worldometer's details of the latest UN, the United Nations data. Now, this number is roughly 17.78% of the world's population. India overtook China as the world's most populous country in 2024, and our numbers are only growing. So I know what you're thinking. If we're the most populous country in the world, how can there be any sort of population crisis? The answer lies in the breakdown of the population. The median or the average age in India is about 28 years right now. But with fertility rates going down, the concern is over India not having a young population, a young demographic in the years to come. From a high of 6.18 children per woman in 1950, the fertility rate as of 2022 is 2.01. It's been going down every year as per this graph. So how is fertility rate measured? I'll just quickly explain that for you. It's measured as on an average how many births per woman. So when we say 2.01 is the fertility rate right now in 2022, that's the average number of births per woman, or essentially that most women are having 2 children. Let's tell you now about the states with the lowest fertility rate. On the top of the list is Punjab, then West Bengal, and that's followed by all the southern states, Maharashtra too, which is why there's a constant debate in the south on the fertility rate and the need to have more children. The states with the highest fertility rate are Bihar, Meghalaya, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and Manipur. Now let's talk about how India compares to other countries. Keep in mind for that the number I told you earlier of India's fertility rate currently, which is 2.01 as of 2022. The country with the lowest fertility rate is South Korea, which has some of the lowest fertility and even marriage levels in the world. South Korea's fertility level as of 2022 was just 0.78. The South Korean government, therefore, is offering financial schemes, housing assistance, and a whole lot of SOPs, essentially to encourage people to get married and to have children. What about China? China's fertility rate is lesser than India. It's at 1.18 births per woman as of 2022, which is what's prompted a 3-child policy in China. And that's because China's population is aging faster than any other country. Historically, developed countries have significantly lower fertility rates. It's generally connected with greater wealth, also education, urbanization, and several such factors. And in least developed countries, fertility rates tend to be higher, which is why you'll see fertility rates higher in many countries in Africa. India is also following that trend, higher fertility rate earlier. With development, with education and urbanization, fertility rate is dropping. But does India have measures to tackle this dropping fertility rate? The answer is no. Quite the contrary, in fact. India has taken several measures for population control and for family planning. There are programs like the Mission Parivar Vikas, which focus on ensuring contraceptives are available in even the most rural parts of the country. And then there's also the 2-child policy, which was adopted by 13 states in the country. We're talking about years ago. Essentially, what's a 2-child policy? Families which had more than 2 children would not be able to contest local body polls, would even lose out on some government scheme benefits. In the last few years, however, many states have actually rescinded the 2-child policy, keeping in mind the drop in fertility rates. The most recent state to have scrapped the policy is Andhra Pradesh. So is there a need to press the panic button like other countries have? The projection is that the fertility rate in India will fall to 1.29 by 2050. Now, I know what you're thinking. Many countries have that fertility rate currently, so it can't be that bad. The reality is what I mentioned earlier, that it isn't about numbers, but about an aging population and ensuring that India has a young, vibrant population.